okay, so everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. They think it's going to be this amazing ride and that it's all going to be positive, it's going to go straight up.
Yeah.
And everyone becomes very optimistic when they're starting a business. Otherwise, they wouldn't start it in the first place. If they knew what it really was going to feel like
Yeah.
and what it was really going to look like, I don't think anyone in their right mind would jump into that boat
No.
as a first time. Second time, you know what you're getting yourself into. You also
Yeah.
know what to avoid. It's very, very different. But that feeling of being an entrepreneur on a day-to-day basis, what does that feel like to you? When I say, oh, it must be so awesome. You work for yourself and you just
Yeah.
get to go build this stuff every day. That's got to be
Yeah.
so cool.
That's always the conversation. I remember when we started the company, like people coming over to the house. I'm like, oh, how's it working for yourself? Just owning your own job. Isn't that like something special? By that time, like we're like a few weeks into this effort, and I'm already so deep on so many things I never thought I would have to handle. Because in your mind, when you have this vision for a company, I always tell other entrepreneurs when they're planning the company, I'm so jealous of you. I'm so jealous that you're in this mode right now where you can dream. Because I think those are the people who get into entrepreneurship. It's the dreamers, and they have an idealistic view of a company they want to create and a problem they're going to solve and customers who want this. And that's all well and good. 3 weeks later, you're on LegalZoom trying to figure out how to file your corporation. You're at the bank trying to figure out what documents you need to be able to open a bank account because your customers can't pay you yet. And then it's like, oh wait, how do I go get customers? Oh, I have to go, we don't have a database. We have, like, every single thing has to be figured out. Let's just say you have enough money. You're lucky enough, and we were, to be able to go hire employees. How do you hire an employee? We didn't have an HR team. So we got to figure out offer letters. We got to figure out benefits. We got to figure out pay. People actually want to be paid. Like, there are so many things that all of a sudden fell onto my plate that I'm so glad I had a co-founder, because we just separated this stuff. About a few weeks into it, we said, hey, I'm going to just run the business because there's so many things we didn't anticipate that have to happen. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
He jumped in and did everything else to actually grow the vision that we actually had. If we didn't have that partnership, I don't think the business would be successful like it is today. It just wasn't going to happen. But man, I didn't think of any single one of these types of things when we were in the early stages. So that's the part that, like, when people ask me, hey, don't you think entrepreneurship is a great thing? I'm like, no, it's terrible. It's tough. It's hard. It's ridiculously difficult. And so few actually survive it. If we did more interviews with the people who failed, they would be telling you all this stuff all the time. The reason why they failed, probably not because their business wasn't a good idea, but they didn't know how to run a business. They couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where I sit when I look at it. Thinking about getting started again, man, there's a little bit of dread that builds up in my heart. Thinking like, oh, I don't know if we can do it again. I don't know if we can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.